Welcome. We're at Woodlawn Memorial Park in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've already done part one. We've been to the Cross Mausoleum, and today we're going to go out on the grounds and visit some legends of country music. I hope you'll come along and join me. Dobie Gray, I don't know if y'all remember him. Look, there's a piano on there and musical notes. That's his picture. He was born Lawrence D. Brown on July 26, 1940, and died December 6, 2011. And he was a singer-songwriter. He had a musical career that spanned soul, country, pop, and musical theater. He had hit songs including In the Crowd in 1965 and Drift Away, which was one of the biggest hits of 1973, sold over 1 million copies and remains a staple of radio airplay today. Gray died of complications from cancer surgery in Nashville at 71. And when he died, he bequeathed 100% of his musical assets and royalties to the St. Jude's Research Hospital in Tennessee for the blind. Isn't that sweet? It says, beloved son, brother, uncle, friend, to your loving family and to all of the friends and fans who you have touched, both in your personal life and around the world. Your love, legacy, and music will live on in our hearts forever. Want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Okay, I found another one. Porter Wagoner. His wife and son. His son, let's see. Beloved son, brother, uncle, great uncle. Okay. Porter Wagoner has 3 scriptures on there. Matthew 24, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. Psalms 23. And he was born August 12, 1927 and died October 28, 2007. Beloved son, brother, husband, father, papa, great papa, I've left this old world with a satisfied mind. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home till we meet again with love eternal. Richard, Deborah, and Denise. Well, Porter was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame and was revered as an elder statesman in the 1990s. He was known also for wearing the nudie suits and a blonde pompadour. In 1967, he introduced singer Dolly Parton on his television show, The Porter Wagoner Show, and she became part of the well-known vocal duo in the 60s and 70s. He was known as Mr. Grand Ole Opry. He charted 81 singles from 54 to 83, won 3 Grammys, and was elected into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2002. And this is his wife, Ruth. She died the year before he did. Till we meet again with love eternal. Richard, Deborah, and Denise. And this was his son. Specialist for Vietnam, 66 to 67. Thank you for your service. Till we meet again with love eternal. Denise, Deborah, and Mike. On the way to find Marty Robbins, I found a fellow named Larry Galden. It says, a.k.a. Ralph Gallant, lived every day of his life from 43 to 92, world's greatest drummer, husband, and father. He lent his talents to John Anderson, Julie Andrews, Eddie Arnold, Chet Atkins, Mo Bandy, R.C. Bannon, Adrian Belew, George Benson, Glenn Campbell, The Carpenters, Rosanna Cash, Johnny Cash, Roy Clark, Rosemary Clooney, Joe Cocker, John Ford Coley, Perry Como, Kenneth Copeland. I'll just go through the ones I know. Rodney Krause, Sonny Curtis, Mac Davis, Skeeter Davis, Dr. Hook, Holly Dunn, the Everly Brothers, Donna Fargo, Lester Flatt, Glenn Fry, David Frizzell, Lefty Frizzell, the Gatlin Brothers, Marvin Gaye, Crystal Gale, Vince Gill, Mickey Guillory, Bobby Goldsboro, the Goodman Family, Al Green, Merle Haggard, Emmylou Harris, Jason Hawkes, Isaac Hayes. I mean, you can see all the rest of them, but he was a drummer. That's cool. I've never heard of the guy. Now I'm looking for Marty Robbins, so I'm going to keep looking. Okay, Marty Robbins was a country singer and an auto race car driver. He began writing songs while he was in the Navy in World War II and signed with Columbia Records after the war and had his first #1 country single, I'll Go On Alone, in 1953. Over the course of his career, he would have 15 more #1 songs on the country music charts and several top 10 on the pop charts. His most famous songs included A White Sport Coat and a Pink Carnation, El Paso, Devil Woman, Don't Worry, and My Woman, My Woman, My Wife. In 1965, he became interested in stock car racing, and from 66 to 82, he completed 35 NASCAR Winston Cup races. He had 6 top 10 finishes, and his best effort was being 5th place in a 1974 Motor State 400 at Michigan Speedway. On October 11, 1982, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and his last NASCAR race was in the Atlanta Journal 500 on November 7, 1982. He died from a heart attack just 1 month later. Well, this one was not easy to find. If you recognize the name Orbison, this was Roy Orbison's wife, the love of his life. He actually wrote the song Pretty Woman about her. He's written 2 songs about her, one prior to her death and one after. But she was born in 41 and died in 66 at just 24 years old. She died when a motorcycle she was riding, her and Roy were out riding, and she was hit by a truck and killed. And so odd, 2 years later, while he was on tour in London, I showed you the house beside Johnny Cash's house was the Roy Orbison property. It burned down and killed his 2 sons. So you can see Anthony King Orbison was born in 62 and died in 68, and then his brother Roy Dwayne Orbison was born in 58 and died in 68 on the same day. So it's a really sad story. Okay, this is Roy's brother, Grady Lee Orbison. And Roy went on to marry again. He died at 52 years old in 1988, and he's buried in an unmarked grave in California. So such a sad story. You can't believe that one person, within 2 years would lose the love of their life and their 2 children. But he did go on to have other children. And if you haven't seen my vlog about his home that was connected to Johnny Cash's home, go look at that, because it's a beautiful property. Connie Smith and Marty Stewart own the property, and nothing will ever be built on it again because the 2 young boys losing their life there. Step right up and come on in. You can probably see it from far back there. It's pretty impressive grave marker in stone. One of the kings of country music. I don't know why he was called the Possum. Maybe you guys do. Married March 4th, 1983. This was his last wife. Stop Loving Her Today. That was one of his hit songs. George Jones, The Possum, September 12/31 to April 26, 2013. He was actually born, let me try to get out of the sunlight. Back up a little bit. He placed more records on the Billboard country charts than any other artist, with 143 making the top 40 and 13 of those making it all the way to the top spot. He began his career performing on the street just to earn extra money because they were so impoverished. He did a brief stint in the military, but then he got serious. In 55, he landed in the country's top 10 with Why Baby Why. And the rest of his career, he was always on the top of the charts. He had some notable duets with people like Tammy Wynette, was also his 3rd wife. He did battle personal demons along the way and amassed an impressive musical legacy that earned him a 2012 Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award and many other honors. His career spanned over 50 years and is regarded as one of the country music's greatest stars. His clear, strong voice and ability to convey so many emotions won over thousands of fans, as well as earning him, envy from his peers. A fellow country star, Waylon Jennings, once said, "If we could sound the way we wanted, we'd all sound like George Jones." Let's see. This is his last wife, Nancy Ann Jones. George Glenn Jones was and is the king of broken hearts. He sang of life's hardships and struggles in a way that somehow lightened our own. His voice was effortless and unforgettable. He brought an unsurpassed emotional eloquence to every song he sang. He was and is the soul of country music. No one will ever fill his shoes. He is at rest, but his music is alive and ageless. He gifted it to us all, to the joyful and to the broken. "Walk through this world with me," he sang, and we do. This is Johnny Paycheck. Someone has left guitar picks. And he lived from, of course, 38 to 2003, died at 64 years old. And he was born Donald Eugene Little. And he was an American country music singer and a Grand Ole Opera, notable for recording David Allan Coe's song, y'all remember it, "Take This Job and Shove It, I Ain't Working Here No More." He achieved his greatest success in the 70s during the outlaw movement and popularized by, artists like Hank Williams Jr., Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Billy Joe Shaver and Merle Haggard. In '80, Paycheck appeared on the PBS music special Austin City Limits. Even though ensuing decades in his musical career, it began to slow because of his drug and alcohol and legal problems. He even served a prison sentence in the early 90s, and his declining health effectively ended his career. And I understand that George Jones purchased this headstone for him. Well, this one wasn't too hard to find, thank goodness. When you do this, you're out here all day. But anyway, this is Richard E. Arnold and Sally K. Arnold. It's actually Eddie Arnold. And he was an American composer, songwriter, singer, and it said he died from natural causes on May 8, 2008 in a care facility in Nashville 1 week before his 90th birthday. His wife of 66 years, Sally, preceded him in death by just 2 months. He was an American country music singer. He was a Nashville sound country music innovator of the late 50s and scored 147 songs in the Billboard country music charts. Second only to George Jones, he sold more than 85 million records, a member of the Grand Ole Opry beginning in 1943 and the Country Music Hall of Fame in '66, and he was ranked 22nd on the Country Music Television's 2000 list of 40 greatest men of country music. So we had to come and see him today. I don't know if these were family, but thank goodness, Holy Bible. And then he's also got a guitar. That's for that whole lifetime of what he did. There's a little guitar. I wanted to show you some of the rooms in this funeral home. It's beautiful. There's another one up the hallway I want to show you. We're running the sweeper. I want to hurry before somebody tells me no. Look at this. Man, this is gorgeous. Oh, this is where you'd have the visitation, because there's a place for a casket. Look at this one. It's a little bit more country. Got the barrels. But each of these is where you would have the visitation for the family. See, there's where the casket would go. Pretty fancy. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our vlog today of the cemetery here in Nashville. It's worth coming in. As I said, they'll give you a map. They're very kind. There are several guest books you can sign for the different stars that their families look at to see who's come to visit. But thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications when I put on new videos. But I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.